So today we are solving polynomial equations in factored form. So whatever equation I have, if I have a times b equals 0, what that means is one of these, either a or b, has to equal 0 in order for this to be true. Anything else in for a or b and it won't equal 0, right? The only way for us to multiply two numbers and get 0 as a result, one of them or both of them have to equal 0. So I just want to remind you, solutions, another word for it is roots, and you're going to see that again in this topic. So it'll say find the roots, and that just means find your solutions. So for example, example 1, if we have the equation, the quantity x minus 5 times the quantity x plus 1 equaling 0, what that means is you have a being x minus 5 equals 0, or the b part being x plus 1 equaling 0. So you have two different quantities, x minus 5 equaling 0 or x plus 1 equaling 0. And that's exactly how you set it up. And then right from there, you add 5 to each side, so you get x equals 5. You subtract 1 from each side, you get x equals negative 1. So your solutions for this equation, this polynomial, is x equals 5 or negative 1. So those are pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is that. You don't have to multiply, nothing, right? You're just separating it into two different equations. Okay. Okay, so, sorry. We have to factor out the greatest common factor. That's the next thing we're getting into. And so we have this equation here, 8x plus 12y. And so this is a bit of old stuff. You have to find your greatest common factor between 8x and 12y. Well, my x and my y, there's nothing in common, so I can kind of ignore that. Those are going to stay. What I need to divide out is the numbers. Between 8 and 12, what's my greatest common factor? Well, the number that I can multiply out of it, which would be 4. And 8x divided by 4 gives me 2x, plus 12y divided by 4 gives me 3y. Because remember, this has to be equal. So when you multiply back out, you would get 8x and 12y, right? When you multiply 4 times 2x, you get 8x, plus 12 times 3y, 4 times 3y, you still should get 12y. So they have to be equivalent. If there was more to pull out, we would. But between 2 and 3, there's nothing else I can pull out. And between x and y, I can't. So I'm done. This is factoring out my greatest common factor. For here, number 2, I have 14y squared and 21y. Well, now I've got variables that I can pull out and numbers. So let's start with the numbers first. Between 14 and 21, what's my greatest common factor? Well, that's a 7. So when I factor out 7, 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. So now I got to look at my variables between y squared and y. What's the most I can pull out? Well, it's always going to be the smaller amount because I can't pull out a larger amount. So when I pull out a y from both of them, I get 7y, and then 14y squared divided by 7y is 2y, and 21y divided by 7y is just positive 3. Just practice by multiplying it back out. 7y times 2y squared. 7y times 2y is 14y squared. And 7y times 3 is 21y. So yes, I got my same answer. That means this is the answer. Pause the video and try number 3. Hit play when you're done. So between 2x squared and 8x, the largest number I can pull out is a 2. The largest variable is an x. And then when I multiply this back out, 2x times what gives me 2x squared? Well, that's just an x, or 1x. And then plus 2x times positive what gives me 8x? Oh, a 4. 2x times 4 is 8x. And that's my answer right there. So now we got to pull everything I just taught you on both of those boards together. So the last thing to do, other than have this board knock me out, is to solve by factoring the greatest common factor. So let's use the one we just did, 2x squared plus 8x, but now it equals 0 and the directions are to solve. So I need x equals. So I factor out my 2x and I get x plus 4 equaling 0. We just did this. And now you have your a equaling 0 or your b value equaling 0. Solve for it and you get x equals 0 or negative 4. And that's my solutions. Ooh, cool. Try number 2. Pause the video. Pause the video and then hit play when you're done. So I have 3x squared plus 18x equaling 0. When I factor out my greatest common factor, I get 3x, and what's left is x plus 6. And then I have 3x equaling 0, or x plus 6 equaling 0. Divide by 3. My equal sign got disappeared. And then 0 divided by 3 is 0, or subtract 6, and x equals negative 6. So those are my two answers, 0 or negative 6. Cool.